Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to take you with me to basically look at the foods that I'm eating now in my second trimester. I'm really consciously trying to get as much nutrients in as possible, but I am still struggling a bit with nausea and I'm still struggling with food aversions. So if you're in the same sort of boat that I am and you are struggling to find ways to get those nutrients in, I've got a few things that I think may help, and just to kind of give a go, see if you like it. I mean, obviously when you do have food aversions, it's quite a strong sense that you can't, you know, a lot of it is vegetables for some reason. You know, it's just so funny, isn't it? The things that we really need to be having is not what we want to have. And then things like bread and, you know, cheese for me at the moment. I've never really been that into cheese, but I'm living for it. So yeah, I just want to show you what I'm eating and when I'm trying to consciously be really on top of my nutrient intake. I'm still not tracking macros. I have no intent to do so. No intend? I don't intend to do so. Only because look, I know what's in food and I've been doing this whole lifestyle long enough that I can roughly work out my calories, my fats, my carbs, my protein. So I'm not that fussed as long as I know that I'm getting enough. So I'm not worried about tracking it or being obsessive about it, especially that I'm pregnant and I'm just focusing on getting as much nutrients in as possible and keeping my energy levels good and me and baby fed. So yeah, I just thought I'd just go over some stuff. I'm going to train as well. So I'm just now going to have breakfast and then I'm going to train. And I'll show you what my training's like. Again, it's not the best. It's been better. But we're definitely in that stage now where I do have a little bit more energy, so I can kind of push a bit more. And when I say push a bit more, that's obviously nothing like it used to be. But, you know, it's just about keeping active, keeping your core strong, keeping your body strong, and just keeping your head strong more than anything. So I'm just going to go make my breakfast and I'll show you what I'm having. Okay guys, so meal one, just before I'm going to train, I've got 40 grams of oats in here. I've had to mix it with water. I'm not doing too well with milk at the moment. I've got some 25 grams of protein, whey protein powder mixed in. Got some prunes in there, just to help, as any pregnant ladies know out there, we get a little constipated. On top, I've got some golden linseed, and then these are the prenatal vitamins that I take. All right, so working in my little home gym that's in my apartment block. Sometimes, you know, it's nice just to train on your own, in your own little space. Just got your headphones in, you keep your head down. So what I'm basically doing here is just mobilizing my body. You can see me doing some rotations here, see me working through my spine, making sure that I'm nice and warm, nice and mobile, just basically getting all that blood in there and allowing my body to feel ready to train. There's nothing specifically I do here. I just kind of go by how I feel. Because I'm training glutes, specifically starting with cable kickbacks, I want to make sure my lower back is nice and warm. Sometimes, you know, you can really feel quite a pump in the lower back. So just getting the hips and the back warm so I'm ready to go. Okay, so my first working set, here I'm doing a single leg abduction. This is to work more of the outer part of my glute. I just like to get a good stretch to come right across and really drive up. Little pause at the top just to hold the squeeze. Then I'm going to superset this into a straight leg. Now with a straight leg I go a little bit heavier just to put a little bit more load through, and you can because you're working more, you know, the bigger part of the glute, you can go heavier. And then obviously demonstrating it on the other side. Again, like I said, your lower back can get a bit of a pump here, so you want to just make sure that you're really putting all that tension through the glute. What I like to do with a straight leg is make sure I'm completely forward. Sometimes if we're too upright, we get too much of a pump in that lower back. So if you're right forward in a 90-degree angle, you should feel that so much better in your glutes. Okay, so sticking with the single leg theme, which again is really good for the core because you have to balance and squeeze everything tighter. So I'm going in with a single leg stiff leg deadlift. So with stiff legs, I always make sure that I've got a slight bend in my knee. I'm really pushing up through my glute just to get a really nice feel. And I'm just going nice and smooth on the way down, not fully locking at the top, just really nice and controlled. So then you can see I'm supersetting it in with a curtsy cable movement. So this is something that me and my husband actually did last week, and that's basically just to put a bit more make you feel a little bit more uneasy, so you have to contract your core more, because what we're trying to do here is just make, you know, my core work. So you can see that obviously the weight is pulling me one way, so I'm having to really squeeze, you know, where my hand is on my hip, I'm just bracing right through those side abdominals and just getting a really good stretch on the glute, and then a big squeeze at the top. Alright, so just a little circuit to finish. Thank goodness I have turned the sound off, because all you can hear is my crackling old knees. Right, so first of all we've got a sumo squat with a little press, going straight in here, as you can see, with a stiff leg with an added stretch. You'll see that better from the side view, and I can explain it a bit better there. And then we're going to go in with curtsy lunges, this time alternating. Again, really pushing that weight through the heel and focusing on stretching either side of the glute. Taking a little bit of a rest. So when you're pregnant, your heart rate just jumps straight away when you do any sort of exercise. So it's definitely good to let that come back down before you start again. Alright, so when I'm doing this sumo, I'm really focusing on pushing my knees out so I can really feel my glute, and I'm squeezing, as I'm pressing that dumbbell up, I'm squeezing my bum and pushing my hips forward. Now, as you can see, a better view here from the side, I'm doing a stiff dead with an added stretch. Not too much stretch, just enough that I put a bit more tension through my hamstring, keeping a nice neutral spine. And then back in with the curtsy lunges, again, weight through the heel, good stretch. Okay, you guys, so I've just finished my workout. I've left it about 20 minutes until I have my post-workout meal. Sometimes I just need my tummy to settle a little bit. So anyway, this is what I'm having. I can't actually see if you can see that. Let me turn it around. Right, so this is what I'm having. So I'm having 2 slices of wholemeal bread, 2 whole eggs. That was meant to be a whole egg white, and I've got about half of it, and then some spinach. So spinach just basically just to get me iron levels up after training, and just again, like I said, just trying to get a bit of veggie in. I've just had a mouthful now, so let's hope there's no spinach in my teeth. Really plain. I just put salt and pepper on it, but that does the job. Alright, my lovelies, so I'm just going to talk to you one-to-one in detail about nutrition in pregnancy. Maybe not even pregnancy, maybe it's just you're not pregnant and you want to just have a little nose at nutrition in pregnancy, or, you know, just in general. You might even learn something. Right, so first of all, let me just start by saying I've been trained in pre and postnatal training and nutrition in women, obviously women. Oh, my brain is just like full on like cotton wool today. Anyway, so I've been trained for 6-7 years in that, and among that time obviously I have worked with a lot of women who I've worked with the whole way through their pregnancies and post. A lot of women that have just kind of come to me in their 2nd trimester or come to me post baby. So I knew going into pregnancy that I had a fair idea of what I should be doing, how I should be training, all of that sort of stuff. However, when you're actually pregnant, it's a little bit different. What's great for me in that respect is that I can just experience it firsthand now, and it's so much easier to help clients or just people in general when you have been through that yourself. You know, the same with my binge eating disorders, because I have been there and it was hell. You know, I can completely understand and sympathize and help people that have been in the same situation. So I truly believe that being pregnant is going to make me such a better coach for pre and postnatal women. So what we're trying to do is just get as much nutrients in our bodies as possible without feeling too nauseous and without just, you know, food aversions make it really difficult. It's something that I'm still struggling with quite badly. My nausea is getting better, but you know, I'm 19 weeks tomorrow. Oh my God. And it's still sticking around. Not too bad at all, I must say, but it's still there. So it's a bit of a poo face, but you know, we're growing a miracle, guys. So I wanted to just quickly talk about things that may help just get those added bits in. Now obviously first trimester is a bit of a shitstorm in terms of food. It's just whatever you can manage. If you're like me, I actually wasn't, or still now, I struggle to eat. I don't have much of an appetite, and when I do, it's very specific, and if I eat something that's slightly not what was going, you know, what my body wanted me to eat, I would feel ill, and then I wouldn't be able to eat after. So you've got to be very careful, and you know, if you have to live on salty rice cakes or bread for a while, obviously you just got to do what you've got to do. But when you do start to feel a bit better and you do have your energy back a bit more and you do start to feel less nauseous, we really need to try and prioritize our health. So in terms of food aversions, like I said, now for me personally, this doesn't work, but this worked very well for a lot of my pregnant ladies. Getting all of your fruits and veggies and blending it up and drinking it. Now sometimes when the food is out in front of us, it can actually mentally just make us feel a bit like, oh, I don't really want to eat that. Whereas if you can put it all in a drink and knock it back, it's a lot easier to kind of stomach and actually have it. So things like, well, I mean, we know how to make a smoothie, right? So spinach in there for iron, banana for potassium, which actually might help you a bit if you are still struggling with sickness, berries, tons of vitamin C. But again, most of what you'll be having, you know, will have vitamin C, and anyway, green leafy veg, vitamin C. So there's lots of really easy ways to just get all those vitamins and minerals in. So what I would suggest, if you are a little bit conscious of not wanting to put on too much body fat, and I don't mean that in a let's watch our figures girls because we're pregnant, I mean it as let's be responsible and not put on a huge amount of body fat, because it's only going to make us feel rubbish and make things harder in pregnancy. So it may be that rather than you having like a banana, berries, yogurt, nuts, avocado, don't get how people do that, but still. So what you would have there is you would probably have 70, 80 grams of carbs, which is mostly sugar, and 20 grams of fat. Now, to have that as a meal, not too bad. To have that as like a quick snack and then to eat something again an hour later, that's a pretty hefty amount of food, calories, macros. So just to be a little bit mindful, there are so many ways that we can get vitamins and minerals in without having an excess of calories. So like I said, things like spinach, kale, all your greens, there's barely anything in there. They're very fibrous, huge amounts of benefits with iron, vitamin C. So they would be such a great option to put in your smoothie without having any fear of thinking, oh, have I, you know, calorie wise, am I eating quite a lot? In terms of fruit, obviously fruit is higher, you know, it's high in sugar. So think about the timings that you have that. Can you have that as a post-workout, or you've gone out, you've done a really big walk? Great, lovely, you know, because then you can replenish your body with the sugars. Obviously, I would then say have some protein in it, and protein could come in lots of forms in a juice or a smoothie. You could put fat-free frozen yogurt in, or, you know, just fat-free yogurt. I say fat-free just again, to save on the macros, but if you wanted to, go ahead, obviously do a full fat. You can put whey protein in there, which is completely fine to have when you're pregnant. So something like that is a really, really good idea. As I said, unfortunately for me, if you are like me, I can't do anything other than water. That's pretty much water. I might get a peppermint tea or a ginger tea in there if I'm lucky, but I do struggle quite a bit with that. So, you know, even this morning with my oats, I can't even have milk. So, so if you are like me and you struggle, what we need to do is just be a little bit craftier. So something here that I have, which has really helped me actually, I found this in Asda. I'm sure they do it everywhere, Sainsbury's, Tesco, whatever. I found this last week, and it is a Dolmio. Is that focusing? Yeah. So it's a Dolmio sauce. This is basically, it's called a Veggie Goodness, and they do for bolognese, they do like a pasta one, which has got like artichoke in, I think. So this is, a serving is 2 of the 5 a day. So it's great. So in this one in particular, it's got carrot, tomato, red pepper, onion leek, sunflower oil, garlic, Now obviously, if you really wanted to and you had the time and the effort, you can make this yourself. You know, you could just chop some tomatoes in, add some garlic, add some carrots, But for me, when I'm quick, like I'm busy, I'm on the go, and also I'm not feeling like I want to be sat over my kitchen making loads of food, which ordinarily I would love to, and I always love to make my own food rather than buy store-bought, but these are a great alternative if you don't have the time. So there you go, that's 2 of your 5 a day in there. Something else that really helped me a few weeks ago, not so much now, gone off them, typical, jacket potato, beans and cheese. I mean, you got your potato, you got your beans. So then again, 2 of your 5 a day straight away. You don't have to have it with cheese, you could have tuna or whatever, but beans and potato is, for me, is the ultimate comfort food. And to have that together and actually have it as 2 of your 5 a day is great. Obviously it's not too high in protein. If you did want to have a bit more protein, you would kind of just add, like I said, some tuna or some chicken to it. But you know, for the most part, having 120 grams of baked beans is pretty decent for protein, especially if you're putting cheese on there as well. So that's something that I found really helped. Also, again, not so much now, typical, but before, little naked bars. So they're literally dried fruit and nut. Now again, you can make these yourselves. I'm actually going to make some of my favourite little energy balls because they're the bomb. And obviously then you could put in whatever you want to put in. I like dates, I'm going to put dates in, goji berries, cranberries. I'm going to put some flaked almonds in there, some cashews. So you completely can control what you do there. But with these, again, if you are looking, you know, if you're short on time, if you don't want to faff and make it because you already feel sick and you don't want to stand in front of your kitchen, then naked bars are great because they are literally dried fruit and nut. Again, not too great with the protein. So, you know, nice for a little snack, but what they could be good for is having it, again, with like a Greek yogurt, putting a little bit of it, you know, mash it up on top, or, like I said, just putting fruit on top, on fruit and nuts yourself. Because, I mean, some of these bars are like 75p a pop. So, but what I'm saying is that it's good to have it stored in your cupboard so that if it's lit, you know, if you're on the sofa and you're like, oh, God, I just can't cope, then sometimes, believe it or not, it's easier to get a packet, unwrap it, eat it, rather than getting a bowl, putting yogurt in the bowl. I know I'm being very dramatic, but this is what it feels like when you feel that sick and that just crap from the first trimester, second trimester, whatever. So, and also what I found is that making food made me feel worse if my husband made the food. So if Kay would go to the kitchen and be like, oh, I'll just make you, you know, what do you want? I'll make you some chicken and rice. It tasted great if I made myself chicken and rice, because I don't know whether I was physically, you know, prepping it and I could see what I was doing and I was around the food, or like the raw chicken or whatever. It just, I really struggled. Or that might just be that I completely want to make use of Kay when he's at home. So they were things that really helped me as well. So in terms of, if you are one of these people that find you eat all the time, then just be a little bit more sensible about what you're picking up. So, you know, keep the protein high, because that's going to help you feel fuller. A lot of the time, I went through 2 days where I wanted to eat everything, and that literally was because I was having things like soup. Again, another great way to get veggies in. I was having like a carrot and coriander soup, which again you can make, but buy it if you're struggling. And I was having that, maybe crackers with it, and there was no protein in there at all. So as soon as I ate that, about an hour later, I was really hungry again, and I was a bit like, oh, this is, you know, I don't want to keep eating. But like I said, when you feel like that, sometimes you need to, but make sure that you are eating enough protein. I think that's something that, in general, people that aren't into fitness don't eat enough protein anyway. But when you are just that bit more conscious of it, then obviously it's going to keep you more satisfied, fuller, and therefore you don't feel like you continually need to keep reaching for it. So I hope that helps a little bit. You know, for me, like I said, I filmed a couple of meals and just to demonstrate roughly what I'm doing. Again, it differs because, you know, I just said jacket potato, beans and cheese, and for a couple of weeks I've been like, oh, today, do you know what, I might just do it. I might just do it and just see how it goes. So it's kind of one of those things that you have to play it by ear, but I find if you've got a list of things, it just helps. Like, for example, yesterday, for the first time ever, I had Rivitas and cream cheese, and I loved it. It was amazing. I got the red quinoa Rivitas because they're higher in protein, because I didn't want to have chicken or anything else with it. I just wanted plain Rivita with a bit of cheese on, and that was that. I did have it with some cucumber and red pepper, but I didn't want protein. So it's just about finding options that are going to keep you satisfied, keep the nutrients in there. You know, obviously, like I said, certain things we want to try and avoid, you know, things like microwave meals, things like eating out constantly, but it's all about moderation. And when you are pregnant and you are really suffering, a lot of it is just about how to get food in. So when you start to feel better, that's when you really need to try and focus, right, what am I doing? How am I getting my nutrients in? You know, maybe if it's the end of the day, think, right, okay, have I had my 5 a day? Which actually on paper should be really, really simple. But like I said, when you are feeling sick, you know, even just whacking out a banana and having that, you just think, oh no. So I hope that helps a little bit, and kind of just gives you an idea. Like I said, in terms of my training as well, so I put my training on here, and you know, it's just playing it by ear. Some days you feel really motivated and really energetic, other days you want to curl up like a burrito on your sofa. But you just got to go with the flow, make sure that you're healthy and happy, and that's it. So I hope you found this video useful and enjoyed it. Comment below if you want to know anything or ask me anything, and I will get back to you. If not, my lovelies, I will see you in the next video.